another episode of The Follow-Up. I'm Eden, this is my dad Noah, and every week we sit on my bed and have a conversation about something we want to talk about. And this week we're going to talk about the start of 5th grade. So 5th grade, middle school, new school, so really exciting. But before we get into that, if you really love this podcast, you can rate and review and leave a note for us on Apple Podcasts. We reach out to us a lot, and if you want to do that, you can leave a review on Apple Podcasts, add a note. You can also subscribe on YouTube and Spotify, and that is the best way to get your podcast every week.
Yeah, so you were saying people reach out to us a lot and say, oh, I listened to the podcast or I saw the podcast, and I often say, well, where did you see it? And they'll say, well, I saw it on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or LinkedIn, and I say, well, are you subscribed? Oh, no, I could do that? Like, yeah, of course you can do that. Like, do you DVR shows on TV? Yeah, so you don't miss one? Yes, it's very easy. On YouTube, you just click the subscribe button. And
Spotify,
on
you click follow.
Yeah, Apple, you click
rate and review.
Well, no, you can click follow. You can click, there's the 3 buttons. You can click that.
Yeah.
You click follow, then you can rate and review it. It's very simple, and then it's just automatically downloaded every Monday when we do this. So we've done, I believe this is episode 209, I think, maybe 208, I don't know. And it's so wild that we're now talking about 5th grade because we started these weekly conversations during the pandemic when you're in kindergarten. So then we talked about the end of kindergarten. We talked about what was 1st grade like, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade. And now here you are in 5th grade, middle school, a new school. You just finished your first full week of 5th grade. How would you describe it?
I would say there's a lot of responsibility. It's a lot of fun. It's very different.
Mm-hmm.
And I think even though I'm in a new school, I think it's very different from the people that were in 4th grade last year to now they're in middle school. And I think it's like everyone's still going through the same changes.
So when you say it's fun, I want to get more into the
Fun, yeah.
I want to get more into the responsibility side of things. When you say it's fun, what's been fun about it?
I like changing classes. I really like my teachers. I can go around with my friends. There's a little bit of time in between each class, so like you can go back, get stuff from your locker, then go.
Well, that's fun also, having a locker.
Having a locker, that's fun.
Yep.
Yeah, it's cool I would say it's fun having the responsibility.
Yeah, and a little bit of...
And freedom.
Right, so the independence part of it. So with that independence comes responsibility. Did you feel, like, in a new school, like, where is everything? This is crazy. Everything is just all over the place. Or did you feel during your first week, I kind of feel like I've been here for a while?
Yeah. Like, I know where pretty much everything is by now. Because pretty much all my classes are on the same floor as my homeroom, except, like, 3 or 4 classes.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the floor, it's a manageable size. Like, it's
Good way
not
of putting it.
so big that
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like, I can't see everything.
Yep.
But it's not, like, so small where there's only 2 classes.
Sure.
So, I know where all the classes are, and it's either, like, you're, like, 1 floor up, or you're still on your floor, or, like, you're all the way down. So, it's good.
And what's it been like coming into a school where you knew some kids from other activities, and you have cousins there, but no one that, well, aside from your cousins, that you were spending a ton of time with outside of school. So what was it like for you just entering a new environment and not knowing anybody?
Well, I took a buddy, which was nice to know someone.
Right, so explain that, so how the school does that.
If you're a new student, you get a buddy.
Yeah.
Who shows you around.
Right, but beforehand...
Oh, yeah, so you meet them, and there's, like, little events.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Which is really nice to get kids incorporated into the school. Yeah.
And then it was nice because she introduced me to her friends, and introduced me to their friends. Mm-hmm. So it was nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So
it was good to meet new people.
Yeah.
And it wasn't too hard.
All right. So what about the responsibility front? What do you feel on that side? From the way your teachers speak to you, the way your assignments are, the way that homework is laid out. I'll talk about in a moment about what the administrators and teachers have told us on how to handle things. But how do they tell you to do things?
It's on you. Like, you're responsible for your homework, getting things done on time, making sure you're prepared. And it's like, if you have a problem, like, you can't do your homework because, like,
Can you speak up a little bit?
Because, like, let's say you lost and it wasn't posted or something, and, like, there's always another option. Like, you can reach out to your teacher, and it's making sure that you can do things and that you can be, like, advocate for yourself if you need some help, or that you're responsible and that you can ask for help, or that you can do these things. And
So what we learned the other night when we went to school, the middle school principal had said, if, for example, say your child's been working on a project and it's due on Monday, and they walk out for school and you see that it's left on the kitchen table, and say you only live a few blocks away, she said, do not bring in that project. That is your student's responsibility, and they're not going to fail 5th grade. They need to be able to deal with some disappointment and bounce back from it. So learning through failure, something we've talked about a lot for a long time, that sure, you're going to be disappointed. I mean, disappointed with yourself. You might even have the feeling of, well, why didn't you guys remind me? Meaning us. But that's what you need to get out of your head, that, okay, this is on me.
Yeah.
I need to be responsible for this. And yeah, it's a mistake. And mistakes happen and that's okay, as long as you learn from them. And that's what it seemed like at the school they really value, learning from these mistakes. They expect mistakes. You don't want to make mistakes on purpose. They expect mistakes and then have you learn from them, which I think is, again, something we've talked about a lot, and it was pretty validating to hear these things in school.
Yeah.
It took a lot for me not to just say to you that entire hour, like, sounds familiar. Sounds familiar. Sounds familiar. But I do understand, and Mom and I talked about this, that certain things that we preach at home, when you hear them from other people, especially school administrators and teachers, then it's, oh yeah, all right, yeah, I've heard this before, and okay, this is, maybe not Mom and Dad were right. We don't care about that. It's being reinforced. Yeah. Your walk to school now is about, instead of 5 minutes, it's about 30.
Yeah, it's about a mile.
So what's that been like in the morning?
It's a nice walk. It's not too hot in the morning.
Yet,
but won't too cold.
Well, it won't be hot for a while yet.
But it's like a nice walk. Just a good way to start the morning.
Mm-hmm. It's also cool now that you get your own subway card.
Yeah.
And so you can use that on the bus in New York also.
Yeah.
And so I know you've taken the bus maybe once or twice. What's it like being on the bus with New Yorkers? It's not the school bus, it's the bus with New Yorkers in the morning. Does it feel any different?
No, because I've done it before.
But this is just school with your backpack.
No, because other people take the bus to school. A lot of people, sometimes when I take the bus, there's people from my school on the bus.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it's not that different.
Again, one of those things that is just so different from how Mom and I grew up and how you're growing up. Totally different. Is there anything in school that you're still wondering, I wonder what this will be like, or I wonder what my first project or my first test or my first event, anything like that will be like?
It's not like I'm wondering. It's just like it'll happen when it happens. And like I'll know about it then.
Good.
Like, yeah.
Good. Okay. So that's a good mindset to have. And so one of the reasons why we do this podcast is so that you can say certain things out loud, and then when we bring them up at home, look, you said these things out loud.
Yourself accountable.
Holding yourself accountable.
Which is
yeah.
hard.
It is hard,
But I feel like that's just not for me. That's for everyone.
for sure. And
But it's a good thing to do.
yeah, and the sooner you learn it, the better. And it's never just going to be perfect all the time. We all learn this and go through this throughout our entire lives. But this sense of accountability is pretty powerful, I think, at your age. All right, well, any questions for me about 5th grade?
What's the thing you remember most about 5th grade? Either like in class.
Yeah, so we were still in elementary school.
Teacher.
Elementary school went
to 6th grade.
Went through 6th grade. I don't know if I told this story before. I remember one thing from 5th grade. So we had a teacher who Uncle Max had, and we were in 5th grade. And at the end of class, we had this thing called SSR, Sustained Silent Reading. So there was, I think, the last 15 minutes of class, I believe. The teacher's sister came into class afterwards, and I asked her if she was pregnant. Or I said, when are you having a baby? And she said, whatever she said, like, in a few months or whatever it is. Again, 5th grade. Teacher asked me afterwards, said, like, Noah, like when we were being dismissed, like, come over here. And she said, look, it's not, you're going to have a lot of interactions with women your entire life, so you should learn this now. You never ask a woman when she's having a baby, because maybe she's not pregnant, maybe she's just overweight, and that's going to make her feel awful. You got lucky this time. And I said, okay, good. so I learned that. Yeah, I learned that in 5th grade, and I've never done that since. But 5th grade, we started switching classes also. So we had different teachers for math and science, English, social studies, and I remember that being a lot. I remember that being a lot of fun, of feeling that sort of independence of walking out of your class and going to different classes. And I'm sure Alex remembers a whole lot more about 5th grade than I do, so maybe he'll watch this and send me some things so that I remember more things about 5th grade. Yeah. All right, well, I'm proud of how the first week is gone, and I think it's going to be a great year.
Yeah, me too.
All right, good. All right, love you.
Love you.